Welcome back to the Road to Recovery. We are on the road to recovery in Illinois, Alton, Illinois, with the great Duane Lawder, working with Sober for Life Radio. Duane has a credible story, and I'm so proud and grateful for his time that I get to share his story with you. On the Road to Recovery from Alton, Illinois, with Duane Lawder.
My name is Duane. I'm an alcoholic and recovering drug addict by the grace of God. A little bit about myself. I started drinking at a very young age. It started with drinking. My mother was an alcoholic. I watched, as a child, I remember watching my mother change at first into a really friendly person. And it kind of captured my attention to want to try that. Of course, later in her alcoholism, she turned, pretty mean and mentally abusive, and so did I. I think I learned a lot of that from her in my drinking. When I would drink, I'd get really, really mean. So I started to experiment with drugs, and I started out with pot, which led to speed, which led to cocaine and pretty much everything else. It pretty well opened up the door to everything. So I would have to say that my drug of choice would definitely be alcohol, because that opened up the door to everything. I've been to prison 3 times. The last time I went to prison, I did 10 years flat in the state of Missouri because of decisions that I made while using and while drinking. I have been in mental institutions, went through several treatment centers. I tried numerous times to get clean and sober, but I guess, like they say, I just wasn't ready. And what led to me getting ready was, when I got out of prison after being locked up for 10 years, in prison you can get high, you can still drink, you can't do it as often, so you can't really, it's not a daily thing that you can do. 10 years later, I went right back into exactly what I was doing to get me in prison to begin with. And I had been on a crack binge and a drinking binge for about a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks. I really can't remember. It was just so crazy. I got to a point to where I was just completely broken. I couldn't see any way out of it. I just figured I'd be better off dead, and the world would be better off with me dead. My family would be better off with me dead. And I got a hold of a firearm illegally, because I was a felon, and I was going to take my own life. It was a .38 revolver, and I was going to take my own life. And it was at that time that somebody that I know and trust very well came to my door, and we'd already discussed, me and this person had already discussed, that I needed to get help, but yet I kept going out getting high and stuff. And this particular time, though, she had telephone numbers for me, and one of the telephone numbers was Tim Ryan, who I am forever grateful to, because he believed in me when I did not believe in myself. And he, in return, gave me Mike Young's number, who, at the time, they were working together. And they got me help, man. And throughout all of that, I've always, stayed close, visited, and I've always had contact with those guys. And I consider them my mentors, because they've taught me a lot. They've taught me so much that I was trying to figure out a way that I could give back and enjoy doing what I was, what I was doing by giving back. And I've always been a music person. I always loved music. I play guitar. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to think now, what was my major downfall in relapsing? And my major downfall in relapsing was when I would get clean and sober, I would start getting that thought in my mind that the only way I know how to have fun is to drink or use drugs. So I thought, if it's that powerful of a thought for me, it's got to be that powerful of a thought for a whole lot of people. So we started a radio station. And when I started the radio station for the first year, it was just a radio station. We played music. I shared Tim Ryan with them. I didn't share Sober for Life Radio as a resource at that time. I shared Tim Ryan and some other people that we had known and just kind of put them out there and did exactly what I love to do, and that was sit in a chair, play music, and talk on the radio. And after a year, I decided it's time to start helping some people. So we started to let it be known that we had resources that we could help people, and with the help of Tim and Mike, it's come together. It's come together, and we're helping a lot of people locally in our community. In fact, we've been getting people from other areas too, the Chicago area. It's just a blessing, man, a real blessing. And it taught me something, man. It taught me that the most precious gift in life is to give.
Duane, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sitting down with us and sharing your story with the world. Sober for Life Radio, check it out online on Facebook. This story, share his story with other people. If you're in recovery, you have a story, you have some hope. Sometimes people are seeking hope in other people until they can find that hope in themselves, and you can share your hope and maybe lead someone else to that same path to recovery. I'm Michael DeLeon on the road to recovery from the great state of Illinois. We'll see you on the next episode of On the Road to Recovery.